Oh, hello guys, and welcome back to another video in our channel. In our discussion today, we're going to look at the Premier League clash between Chelsea and Tottenham that took place yesterday at Stamford Bridge. We are going to try and tactically look at what both teams did and how Chelsea managed to get on top of Tottenham and actually win the game, and actually believed Chelsea managed the game well. So the game ended 2-0, courtesy of a goal from Nicholas Jackson and Trevor Chalobah. And these goals further exposed Tottenham Hotspur's Achilles heel, and that is set pieces. Though Ange Postecoglou has come back to defend his position on why he still does not prioritize coaching and managing set pieces. And this game really showcased how Chelsea were able to manage the game when they dominated in the first half and actually sit back in the second half. So Pochettino picked this starting 11 with Gilchrist coming in, Chalobah and Badiashile in the back line, with Cucurella at the left back. And the entire midfield and front line remained unchanged. And this was the only team that Pochettino could put forward. Looking at how light Chelsea's defense bench was and how many Chelsea players are actually injured, is really amazing how Chelsea managed to pull out this performance. Spurs, on the other hand, had majority of their first team players in this game, and only their left back Udogie was missing in this game, and James Maddison, who had not been preferred to start in this game, with Ange preferring to start Kulusevski in that number 10 position. And Spurs, their bench looked quite strong because we had Højbjerg there, Maddison there, and other key notable players ready to come on and change the game for them. Before we even begin our analysis, I would like you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and check our timeline for more tactical analysis. So we look at Spurs in possession because they managed to dominate possession in the game, and this is given by how Chelsea actually scored goals early and how Chelsea were more dominant in the first half, and in the second half they just wanted to hit Spurs in transition. So initially in the game, Chelsea were quite aggressive, pressing Tottenham Hotspur high up the pitch, forcing Spurs to actually go long most of the time. And when Spurs tried to play through Chelsea, Chelsea were able to effectively win the ball off Tottenham Hotspur. And this was a common trend in the first half because Chelsea looked quite dominant, and Spurs had not anticipated that Chelsea would be so direct and so aggressive in the initial phases of the play. So how did Spurs do this? So Spurs would build up with their usual build-up structure, with Vicario stepping out with the ball and Van Daven and Romero playing alongside him. He will push the two number 8s high up the pitch, and as we know, what Ange likes to do is inverting his fullbacks earlier on so that he can try to progress the ball through the center of the pitch. And Chelsea had a way of trying to press Spurs. They will shift into a 4-4-2, aggressive 4-4-2-4, or aggressive 4-2-3-1. Like in this system, you can see Chelsea moving into a 4-2-4 system with even both Gallagher and Moises Caicedo pushing up, and Chelsea actually pressing with their entire front and defense line pushing aggressively up. So in these kinds of situation, the role of Jackson was very important in trying to shift the ball into to recycle the ball into one side of the pitch, where now Chelsea would use the touchline as an extra defender, with Cole Palmer looking to pick up Bissouma, and Madueke will push forward to try and press Romero, and Romero will try to play the ball to Son, but Gilchrist was so vital in winning those aerial duels against Son, and immediately looking to play the ball to Noni Madueke, who would like to actually combine with Cole Palmer to try and generate an opportunity for Chelsea. Down the right hand side is where Spurs actually gained some benefit, because we started to see Sarr pulling out and looking to receive the ball in an orthodox position, and this actually created problems because also Richarlison started to drop deep, dragging Badiashile out of position, and Kulusevski was trying to make that run in the space vacated by Badiashile. And these were some common patterns we started to see earlier on, and Chelsea started to sit slightly deeper, not to press Spurs high up the pitch. And we're going to see how Spurs were trying to manipulate Chelsea when they were in much settled possession. So Spurs utilized their 2-3-5 system that they like to use, and using their center backs aggressively high. And this was quite an advantage and a disadvantage. You can see here Spurs fullbacks have inverted in midfield, and we can see also Spurs have pushed their fullbacks in the half space region. Now they're having two players occupying the half space region, making Spurs to be quite congested high up the pitch. But this was a risk that Ange Postecoglou likes to make in majority of his games. So in this case, you would see now a player receiving the ball on the far side, especially Brendan Johnson, and looking to drag the entire Chelsea's back line. The main aim of Spurs was to try to isolate Gilchrist in a 2v1 situation against Emerson Royal and Heung-min Son. And in the later stages of the first half and in the second half, Gilchrist was able to win these aerial duels against Son and look to immediately play the ball to Noni Madueke, who will use the entire Chelsea's front line to launch devastating counter-attacks against Spurs. Though I do believe Chelsea were not quite dangerous, they did not fulfill those counter-attacks well. They should have actually scored more goals in those transition moments. And because of Chelsea's electric pace in behind, they were able to create a lot of problems for Tottenham, especially when Tottenham overcommitted players during the attack. Another way in which Tottenham really messed themselves up in this game and why they really left themselves open is because Chelsea sat in a 4-4-2 deep structure and Spurs pushed all their players forward, pushing Porro, Emerson Royal, Kulusevski, and even Sarr try and overload Chelsea, with Pochettino only dropping Noni Madueke to play as an extra wing back and Cole Palmer dropping deep to play in a 5-4-1. And because Spurs had a lot of players ahead of Chelsea's midfield, what we started to see is that Chelsea were playing quite narrow, looking to try and trick Tottenham Hotspur centre-backs to play penetrative passes, where either Gallagher or Caicedo will intercept, and now Chelsea will have a lot of players running at Tottenham's defense and one midfielder. Chelsea, on the other hand, also had their times in possession. Especially in the first half, they looked so dominant and imposed themselves in the game effectively. And how did Chelsea do this? How did Chelsea manage to impose themselves in the game? So during build-up, Chelsea were quite dynamic, and I've started to see Mauricio Pochettino implementing interesting tactics by using the goalkeeper as an extra centre-back. You can see here, Chalobah has dropped in the left-sided centre-back position, and now Petrovic is being used as an extra centre-back to draw Spurs to press Chelsea forward. Now, in this kind of back four kind of system, we started to see another new tactic that Pochettino is implementing, and that is inverting Cucurella in midfield. So Cucurella is actually starting as a double pivot, and in this kind of instance, it's giving a lot of problems for the opposition winger, whether to track Cucurella or allow Chelsea to have the overload in midfield. But using Petrovic as an extra defender in this build-up structure and using the Badiashile as an orthodox left back is pushing the opposition winger to pick Badiashile and the two forwards to pick the goalkeeper and Trevor Chalobah. But now Chelsea have Cucurella in midfield, and even sometimes Cucurella is not afraid to even play as the holding midfielder and allow Caicedo and Conor Gallagher to play in that attacking 8 position. Now in this double pivot kind of structure, if Spurs commit players to press Chelsea in this kind of structure, then Chelsea will have almost 6 players attacking Spurs backline. And this box midfield that has been formed with Conor Gallagher hugging the left side and Cole Palmer hugging the right, will see even Chelsea look to play quick one-touch passes, especially with Caicedo and Gilchrist receiving the ball and looking to progress with the ball further. If Gusto was there, Chelsea would have really had a field day with Spurs. And because Gilchrist was only looking to play the ball to Noni Madueke will receive the ball and look to immediately try to make those runs ahead. Cole Palmer in this position would like to link up with Noni Madueke and try to overload Spurs, especially down the right. The wide areas, especially down the right. And the position of Cucurella is what enabled Chelsea to be like this. Noni Madueke also fancied himself in a 1v1 situation against Emerson Royal, and majority of the times he was able to beat Emerson Royal in these ground duels. You can see here that Noni Madueke receives the ball, and now Spurs have to commit to players, Son and Emerson Royal. And now even Cole Palmer can receive the ball with time and space, as Chelsea was so dominant and pushed Spurs back. And because of Chelsea's dominance in the first half, Spurs decided to sit slightly back and not try and counter Chelsea. So how did Chelsea do it? So Chelsea used their front line with their wingers staying wide and Jackson playing on the shoulder of the last defender. And their dynamics in possession was interesting, with Cole Palmer picking the right half space position and Conor Gallagher looking to pick the left half space position. Give Chelsea that 3-5 structure that I always emphasize that Chelsea needed to employ. The issue was now in midfield because Gallagher has pushed forward. We started to see Cucurella also coming in field and playing as a double pivot next to Caicedo, and Chelsea forming that back three structure. And the back three structure was so interesting because they also played high up. Gilchrist, right centre back, Chalobah in the middle, and Badiashile playing down the wide left. In the forward line, you can see the position of Mudryk. You can see Gallagher making their half space run. You can see the position of Jackson, the position of Cole Palmer, and the wide position of Noni Madueke holding the touchline down the right, and the position of Marco Correa. So because of Chelsea's box midfield structure, they were able to outnumber Spurs in the middle of the pack, and their back line also outnumbered Spurs, especially Spurs front two. Now, down the left, it was quite interesting because Badiashile was not afraid to carry the ball forward and look to immediately to progress the ball to Mykhailo Mudryk, who will be dropping deeper to receive the ball. And once Mudryk received the ball, his main aim was to play those penetrative infield passes, especially to Cole Palmer, Jackson, or to try and switch the play to Noni Madueke, something that actually Mudryk did quite well throughout the game. And Noni Madueke will try to link up with Cole Palmer to try and create those overloads against Tottenham Hotspur. And because of these spaces in between the lines, Spurs in the first half were dropping so deep, almost deeper, closer to their own goal line. And Chelsea in this game were really impressive because they used an aggressively high line that I've been trying to talk about to narrow that space between the defense and midfield. And using this aggressive high line enabled Chelsea to actually compress the space and have a small space and have that ability to play combination plays amongst themselves, as well as the chance to effectively counter-press against Spurs. The positions of Badiashile and Gilchrist was so important. Look at how Chelsea are playing aggressively high up. Even Chalobah, the deepest centre-back, is playing inside Tottenham Hotspur's half. And this is how Chelsea need to learn how to play, compressing every space. And once Chelsea have been able to compress these spaces, they now look more confident and more in charge of the game, something that I saw them also do in the game against Aston Villa. So looking at tactics-wise, we see that Mauricio Pochettino managed to outclass Ange Postecoglou again, but Postecoglou's reluctance to actually alter his tactics is what is making him to find problems in the Premier League. His insistence on sticking with his philosophy might pay good benefit to him, but now teams are looking to have sussed him out, and actually teams are coming up with ways on how to destroy his system. Pochettino has managed to do this twice, and we'll do a video to analyze how Mauricio Pochettino's season at Chelsea is going. Thanks for watching, and see you in another video. Thank you.